Hello! The best kind of bum slaying. Playoff bum slaying. Everybody loves playoff bum slaying. Oh my goodness, the Golden Knights are better than the Canadians. It's fantastic to see it on the ice. We thought they were, but there was all, they haven't played anybody new and only the division and Colorado. And they beat Toronto and all. Nope. Fuck everyone. The Golden Knights are way better. Way better than this team. The Golden Knights are so much better than this team. And as long as they play halfway decent 3 more times in the next 6 games, the Golden Knights are going to go to the Stanley Cup final. It's really like, it's like kind of the first time it's hitting me because I've like been so on top of the Colorado series. And it's like, oh God, I don't know how they're going to get through that one. And I was so nervous and all that and, whatever. And so that freaked me out the whole time. And then this series, you're like, yeah, I don't really know why they would have any problem in this series, but there's always you never know, and we're not there yet. I know it's one game, and you remember Colorado beating up on Vegas in game 1, and I didn't feel so good in that one, and now I feel great, and maybe we should learn, but I'm not going to learn. I don't care. I'm not going to learn. I'm just not. Because plain and simply, the Golden Knights are better than the Montreal Canadiens. The Golden Knights did not play better than the Montreal Canadiens in period 1 of game 1, but they were able to come out and get over that by getting a couple of moments that went their way, caused the icing, got the shot from the point that went through, were able to crack down on that penalty kill and do some of the things that they needed to do. And then from there, I kind of felt it that way, like, in a way, like I almost wish it was 1-0 the other way after 1 because I knew that was the worst that the Golden Knights were going to play today. Like, they don't put together poor periods all that often. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Golden Knights are unbeatable in this series or anything of that sort, but that was the period that they could potentially lose it in. So, like, those were the moments that if Montreal gets what they want to happen, their forecheck is working, they're breaking up plays in the neutral zone, they're causing problems with Vegas's breakout, they're not allowing Vegas to live in their offensive zone. If that happens, those are the opportunities that Montreal has, and it comes and goes, and they, outshot Vegas, outchanced Vegas. Expected goals are 2 to 0.0 or 3 or I don't know, something like crazy. And then you look at the scoreboard, and the Golden Knights are up to 1-0. Now, if that were to continue for period 2 and period 3 and we start looking into some of the issues, like, yeah, sure, but that was real easy to throw in the garbage after you see what the Golden Knights do in periods 2 and 3, and you can go back to 56 games of doing that against bums all season. Like, that's basically what we're looking at. This team's not good enough to give the Golden Knights trouble skill-wise. They have to do it by beating the Golden Knights and causing Vegas to create errors, to make errors, to situations that Vegas puts themselves in and make the wrong decision. They've got to capitalize them. They've got to take advantage of the power plays. They've got to do those types of things. And when you saw that first period and they were not able to capitalize, and especially a couple of opportunities out front, that one right at the beginning of the game, I want to say it was like 2 minutes in, they had a play from underneath the goal. They flicked it right in front, and there's a challenge in front. And that's the one, those are the ones that could be the problem. Like, those are the ones that you look at and you're like, I don't know how they're going to do in front of the goal and all that. I think there was something to be said about Minnesota teaching them a little bit of how to play in that and understanding some of those situations and what you need to do and what Fleury, I think, even needs to do in some of those spots. And they look fine. Every single time the puck got out in front of the goal, Golden Knights look fine today. No problems. And that's a huge part of the series because if Montreal can't score that way, they ain't going to score. They got their one. It was on the power play. It's a nice goal. Good play for Cole Caulfield. Good for him getting an opportunity. But for the most part, this is a game where the Golden Knights are just flat out better. They're just better. And like, yeah, sure, maybe you can have a thought that like Carey Price is going to get in the way of this series, and that's going to be on Vegas. Like, that's the only thing that you can really be concerned about. But to me, it's on Vegas. They scored 4 times today, and he didn't have a chance to score any of them. Maybe the Holden one he could probably get across and get a better chance on. But even that's a cross-ice pass. There's no sticks in the lane. That's what's going to happen because this team just isn't that good. They're not that structured in their own end. If you live in their defensive end, you will hit opportunities like the Golden Knights hit today. They were able to get a couple of these. This is not a very good hockey team that they're playing against. People can make it out all they want. They're just not. It doesn't mean that they're horrible. It doesn't mean that they don't belong in the playoffs or whatever. Like, it's a 16-game playoff, whatever it happens to be, it's fine. Or 16-team playoffs, it's fine. The fact is, they don't belong on the ice in a playoff series with the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are better in every single aspect of hockey. If this person here explain how they aren't a good team, I'll do that right now. They're not a good team because they don't have a high enough skilled first line. They do not have all that much depth offensively as they go through their lineup. They are not all that good defensively. Their goalie is very good, but they allow so many dangerous opportunities that they can't even allow him to be great. They can't seem to keep people out from entering their zone. They're not very good exiting their own zone. They're not all that good creating havoc in the neutral zone. They're just not that good. They're just not. And like, that's fine. That's great. You know, all season long, we've been talking about teams that just were the Golden Knights were better than. And we always wondered, like, are they better than Colorado? We now know that. We know they're better than Colorado. We always knew they were better than Montreal. It comes down to just playing well for 4 games. You got to play 4 games, now 3 games out of 6. If the Golden Knights can play well for 3 games out of 6, and they today proved you don't even have to play well for the whole game. 40 minutes is plenty. Heck, 20 was plenty. That's all you need. Like, that's all there really is to it. And to me, if that's the best Montreal has, they got no chance. Like, and they're like in this going into this series, we did the podcast. I did a couple articles. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I was going to do a Twitter space after game 1, but there's nothing to say. So we're going to hold it for after game 2 because there's just nothing to say because all the things that Montreal has to do right, all the things that could potentially give the Golden Knights trouble, they were doing a portion of it early in the game, and it still was not creating enough. Yes, they had 6 high-danger chances at the beginning of the game. It's very possible they could have gotten 1 goal in that. But the thought that a team like this, when you just watch 6 games of Colorado could not impose their will on Vegas for 60 minutes. They could do it here and there, and I think you will see that from time to time in this series. There will be moments where Montreal will be able to do some good things, but in this series, those moments have to finish in massive numbers of goals. And I mean, like, if they play a period like they did in the first, it's got to be 3-0. Otherwise, the Golden Knights are going to get back in the game and beat them. And Fleury made a number of good saves and kept them off early in that game. And because of it, the Golden Knights go into the intermission up 1-0, and you can put it on the board. Like, that's it. 1-0 in the series, it's over. Like, once that first period ended, you knew that's probably not going to be another period that poor for the Golden Knights. They'll be fine. And so now it comes down to how many answers can Montreal come up with in the next day and a half or whatever it is until 2 days. They've got a day and then they've got a morning to work on what they come up with. And I just don't know that they have the talent to actually figure out, or even if they do figure it out, they're not going to have the talent to execute it. They're just not going to be able to do it. The forecheck and the way that they forecheck can give certain teams problems. The Golden Knights are not one of those teams. They're just not. You saw it in very slim moments at different times early on in period 1. There were moments. The Golden Knights wouldn't quite make the fast enough play. There would be moments where they got overwhelmed in the neutral zone. There were some things that you can sit there and say, all right, I see where this team can give them problems. And of course, Carey Price comes up with a couple of unbelievable saves. All right, yeah, it is certainly possible that they could potentially lose a period here or there. But losing games, let alone the series, just seems unrealistic at this point, having watched enough hockey throughout the entire season. And I'll tell you, I watched more Montreal hockey in the last couple of days than I have any other team like all season, really, like other than Golden Knights games. I watched so many periods because I'm like trying to figure out how the hell is this team doing this? And the way they were doing it, they were taking advantage of teams panicking coming out of the defensive zone. And then they're good enough in the moments when they could, staying in front of the goal, making it easier on Price and doing the right things. They're just not going to be able to do it, having these moments where they're going to have 20 minutes at a time in their own zone. Like, you look at that second period, Vegas allowed nothing, absolutely nothing, 0 scoring chances in the second period. And that wasn't a period that Vegas was like overly dominant. They were just playing like they normally do, playing the style of game that's really, really hard to beat if you don't have game breakers to beat it. Why do you think Minnesota gave the Golden Knights problems at different times? Because they had the game breakers that could help them, Kaprizov, Fiala, and at times in that series, that whole first line or whatever it was, Eriksson Ek, that line, Greenway, there were moments that they could do that. And then once the puck got out in front and they were able to win board battles against Vegas, they were able to break some of the pressure and move the puck through the neutral zone and do the right things. This team can't. They just can't do it. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. And to me, I know it's like probably overkill, but I picked the Golden Knights in 4, and I feel a lot more confident in that right now than I did when I picked it. I just didn't think they're going to be able to generate enough offense. I'm surprised they even got one, to be honest. Like, I don't know what the expectation would actually be for them to get all that much offense moving throughout the rest of the series. It comes down to power plays. If they can draw 3-4 penalties a night, maybe they get 2 goals. And then it comes down to whether Vegas is going to be able to put up offense. Maybe things look different if the Golden Knights are behind. I doubt it. This Periscope and all Periscopes are brought to you by Conler & Associates CPAs. Go to conlercpa.com for a free consultation. Tell them SinBin sent you, and they'll hook you up with that free consultation. If you have cryptocurrency questions, capital gains, that kind of stuff, if you're a poker player or a gambler, you hit the mega millions, and you need somebody to do your taxes, or if you own a business, a nice LLC or a C Corp, one of those things, go to Conler & Associates CPAs, conlercpa.com, Conler with a K. It's right there on the bottom. So much easier now that I have this scroll. 7 wins away. Let's put this back up. 7 wins away, the Golden Knights are, from winning the Stanley Cup. Yes, that's how close we are. I'll take some questions. Go ahead and put some questions into the chat there. We'll go ahead and take some questions because I don't have all that much to talk about because, honestly, I feel like I've talked about most of what I thought was going to happen in this series already, and so far it's happening. That's exactly what's going on. I don't see any reason for him at the moment. I mean, I thought the fourth line was the worst line the Golden Knights had, but they weren't bad. Like, I didn't think they were terrible. They weren't, great, but they're going to be fine. They just have to not kill the Golden Knights. And yeah, I think I would rather have Noshik, but if he's not healthy, then what are we doing? No, they should not play Robin Lehner at all. Unless Fleury were to get injured, I would not put him in game 2. I wouldn't put him in game 3 if you're up 2-0, 3 if you're 4, if you're up 3-0. None of them. No. Do not play this guy. Play your best goalie. Play the guy who's been awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I would be in favor of that, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Montreal power play is decent. Looked a little bit better because the Golden Knights kind of were running around on that shift. It happens. Not the end of the world that they had a bad one, especially when you're up 2-0. Yeah, the game gets interesting, but then it comes back to what do we need to see out of it? And the Golden Knights did exactly what they needed to do. Misfit line was great. I think they are a huge mismatch no matter who they're playing against. And if they happen to get extended time against Deneau, I think he has the opportunity to potentially slow that line offensively. I don't think there's going to be much offense going the other way. But if that were to happen, if it's Deneau, Gallagher, and Lehkonen, if they play against the Misfits, I think that just opens the door to see more of Pacioretty, Stone, and Stevenson doing even more. No, sweeping is never bad. I don't think there will ever be a time where sweeping is bad, and I will continue saying that. Slow starts. Yeah, I understand the argument. I've seen it too. They've gone behind a lot. They didn't play all that well in the first 20 minutes today, or at least the first 15, 12, something like that. Yeah, it's okay. I think they just need to get to their game a little bit quicker. I don't necessarily know why it's taking so long. I'm not all that concerned about it, to be completely honest. Maybe I would be a little bit more if they had given up a goal today, but for the most part, not all that concerned about it. I think VGK will get used to the pace of Montreal. Yeah, that's one piece that you got to be a little concerned about. Like, it happened last year a little bit. I think you play Chicago and then you play Vancouver and you're not that good. Those teams aren't that good. And then you end up in a situation where you're playing a team that's a lot better and it doesn't go all that well. I don't think Vegas is going to give Tuck to Colorado. I sure as shit wouldn't. I like, that's the goal. That would be the goal for Montreal. But again, I think Montreal's game is predicated on the opposing team making mistakes. And I just don't think the Golden Knights are a horribly mistake-prone team when they're going the way they can go. Maybe I think there's something to be said. This is kind of leading into this question. Maybe there's something to be said about if the Golden Knights don't have the lead. If Montreal takes the lead, does it look a little bit different in the defensive zone? I think that's kind of the only thing Montreal can go to now. Like, that's really the only option that they can do. And that is to try to just lock it down in the defensive zone and never have offensive opportunity and try to catch them in the neutral zone from time to time. Like, that's it. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think they're going to win. I still don't think they're going to win once. I really don't. I think the Golden Knights are significantly better than this team. And as long as Vegas is engaged and wants to play every single night, which I don't see any reason why they wouldn't at this point, they should win them all. This is an interesting question. I thought it was funny that, two of the goals are scored off of faceoffs and everybody's, yapping at me about faceoffs. Thanks, Jimerson. Today was another example. Like, you do not have to win 60% of your faceoffs. You don't even have to win 50. You barely even have to win 40. 30 is fine. The Golden Knights scored twice off an offensive zone draw. Yes, they did. Does that mean it's very important to win draws? Sure, you need to have some of them. You can't have none of them. And I shouldn't even say you can't. It wouldn't be ideal to have no face-offs go your way. But if you win 35%, that's 35 out of 100, which is 17 out of 50, if that's how many happen in a game, which isn't all that far off. Of those 17, presumably some of them are going to happen in the offensive zone. And if some of them happen in the offensive zone and you score off some of them, then you will score. I have absolutely no concern at all. Zero, less than zero, negative amount, no concern at all about faceoffs. When they win them, do the right things. When you lose them, do the right things. Play the game. The puck being in play is when the game happens, not directly off the draw. Not that concerned about it. Yes, I think the Golden Knights will continue to sweep. I thought Montreal's penalty kill was exactly what I expected them to be. Very aggressive, very willing to take the puck up the ice. I think it's something that Vegas will get used to as the series goes on, especially if they get 4 a game like they did tonight. If they are continuously getting these opportunities, I think the Golden Knights will end up being better and better and better on the power play as this goes. That being said, I'm not exactly sure that heading into the next series, if that's where we're indeed headed, the power play is going to be any better, and that's when it could come and be a problem. Somebody asked me if it was going to be the Lightning. Here it is. I'm still picking Tampa. I'm certainly not going to give up on them because they lost one game in a game where I thought they looked flat. I don't think you're going to get a flat Tampa every single night. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. No, in this series, I don't think it's going to matter. Maybe take less. That would be better. But right now, I just think the 5-on-5 is so heavily skewed towards Vegas. It's just going to be unlikely that with as good as Vegas's penalty kill is, best case scenario, maybe they score on 20%. They've already got 1 out of 3, 33%. I mean, if they're hitting, 2 out of 10, like they're getting 1 out of the next 7, I just don't think they're going to be able to get enough. Like, this team's going to need 2 or 3 goals to beat Vegas. Like, they at least need 2. They're probably going to need 3. I don't know where they're going to come from. I said it before the series. I'll continue saying it now. I just don't know how they're going to generate offense. They do not have game breakers that can help them to generate offense. I think this is a part of what makes them good in the defensive zone. I don't think it helps them in any way in the offensive zone, but in the defensive zone, I think he can help. I don't think the Golden Knights are going to score 4 every single night. First period, the Stone line struggled a little bit. And of course, then they get the goal, so it doesn't look that way. I'm not all that concerned, to be completely honest. However it happens to go, so be it. Hello, Jillian, or it's Jillian? Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a few times. I don't necessarily know what he wants. That continues to be a problem for me, at least understanding what's going to happen. Like, he has cups. He's got plenty of money. He's really had a weird time in Vegas where he hasn't really gotten to truly live in Vegas and go out and you know, have the life that you want to have in Vegas. So I don't necessarily know that he's as pumped about living in Vegas as some of these other guys are. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there. Let's see. What is this one? I don't think that the Golden Knights defense is going to be massively influential as far as the offense goes. I guess part of it is getting traffic in front. So I guess maybe the points can potentially come from there with tips and such. I don't think they're going to hit some of these cross-ice passes to Nick Holden all that often. That was nice when it happened, but you're going to get more of your offense from the forwards. To me, it's not like it's a complete one-off because the Golden Knights defense does score a lot. But I don't think that's like the main reason why the Golden Knights are going to win the series. Like, if the offense doesn't come from the defensemen, then it'll come from the forwards. Again, like, play the right style, play the way that they can play, and they'll eat this team alive. And it'll happen over and over and over again. And there'll be periods just like the second and just like the third, and there'll just be absolutely no offense from Montreal the entire time. And then one of the best parts of that is Vegas is amazing at 6-on-5. Once you pull your goalie, forget about it. Like, it ain't going to happen. So there you go. I don't really know what happened on that. It looked like maybe he slipped or something. Not 100% sure what happened on that one, but whatever. I just don't know where they're going to find the money to keep the guy. I would imagine the Matthias Janmark, after taking a couple one-year deals, would probably want a longer deal. I think he's going to be able to get it, especially being on what appears to be a cup final team and potentially a cup winner. He's going to probably be headed to his second consecutive cup final. So I think there's going to be a tough spot to find that. Yeah, this is interesting, but... yeah, the Islanders would be tough. I don't want to go too far forward on worrying about that because, like, we're one game in here. They're one game in over there. Like, we know that these series are not over. It's not that, you know, it's not. This one looks pretty good for Vegas. I'm not all that concerned. Montreal currently has 2,500 fans. They're petitioning their premier or something. I don't know, whatever the fuck they call their government up there. They didn't teach us that in school. Whatever that is, they're trying to get more in. I would not expect them to get many more. Maybe the number goes up to 4,000 or 5,000. To me, fans are not going to matter. They're just not. I love being at the games. I love that fans are at the games. It's so much better to watch games. It makes it all make so much more sense. Like, don't get me wrong. I am enjoying that fans are there. However, in this series specifically, and for most series, but in this one specifically, it's whether or not Vegas plays the way that they can. If the Golden Knights play their style of game, Montreal will have no answers, will not be able to find answers, and they'll just never be able to get over that hump. They just won't. And it'll come down to, can Price have a game where he's even stopping the ones that he can't stop? Like, unlikely. To me, Price was like a B+. Maybe it's an A-. The Holden one, I don't really know fully what happened, but at that point, the game's over. So what does it matter? As far as the rest of it, like all the other ones, there's no way he's going to stop. There's just no way he's stopping these shots, and he stopped 2 of them that he shouldn't have. Made an unbelievable number of stops, that shots that there's no way that a normal goalie stops it, and he did. So Fleury by far. I don't even think it's close. Like I think it's about where we're at on the series. It's like minus 500 or so. I'm actually interested trying to pull that up now on my phone here. If we can get the William Hill mobile sports app. If you don't have the William Hill mobile sports app, I recommend using our promo code and getting yourself a free Golden Knights jersey. Here we go. The Golden Knights are now minus 1,100 to win this series. Minus 1,100. You have to lay $1,100 to win 100. You have to lay $11 to win 1. That's a lot. I do not expect the Golden Knights to lose this. I don't think this is exact. Like, I got a little bit of 2018 vibes in the last series. This is not. They're not playing that same style. That team did not lock it down. The William Hill mobile sports app promo is good until June 30th, which is about 2 weeks away. A little more than 2 weeks. June 30th. So make sure you do that. If you have any questions on that, you can DM me or ask me or whatever, and I will help you there. If the Golden Knights were to have any key injuries, obviously that's going to be a problem moving forward. I don't think it would in this series. Again, I think it would take a number of guys going out for it to be any sort of issue in this series, but you don't want injuries moving forward to the next series if we end up getting there. If we get there, then you could have some problems if you're missing somebody. So, yeah, I can imagine people are not going to want to lay the 1,100. I don't blame you. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. And yes, this is true. All right. What's this one? Does the fourth line get more time to rest the last 2? Probably not, because the fourth line's the worst that the Golden Knights have. So if you play the fourth line more than you did, which I don't think they played all that much, but if they decide to play them more, then they're probably going to give up more goals, and that seems like a bad idea. To me, absolutely not. I would play Fleury every single game. I would leave him in there because my guess is the Golden Knights are going to win this series in 4. At worst, maybe it'll be 5. And if they win it in 4 or 5, he's going to have plenty of time to rest himself going into the final against whoever they play, because I don't think that thing's ending in 4 or 5. There will never be SinBin.vegas return ever. I did the playoff beard once. It was horrible. I hated every second of it. It never stopped itching. I cannot stand having a beard. I will never have a beard again. I promise you. I thought Theodore was fantastic. He was my number 1 star for the Golden Knights today. I don't know that anyone was all that close. The closest I had to him was Tuck. I had him as second. I had Fleury as third. I think it's fair to have a number of other guys in that third slot. I thought Carlson was very good. I think a lot of people had a good game. So how happy am I with the top 9 forwards? Sorry, wrong button. Very. They were good. Third line was probably the best the Golden Knights had today. And if they're the best, then what's going to happen next game? I just don't know what Montreal has for this team. They rely on errors. They rely on you making errors. Now, they do a good job creating them. They force you to make the errors, but they rely on errors. And if you don't give them the errors, they won't score. They will not create offense, especially against a team like Vegas and a goalie like Vegas has in the way he's playing. I just don't think it's horribly likely. I think we're going to do one after game 2. I was originally planning on doing it after game 1, but I just don't think there's much to say. Everything we saw came true, and the Golden Knights dominated. It's exactly what I thought was going to happen. The answer to that is because they all stink. No, absolutely not. I would not consider playing him. I think that's it. Oh, yeah, this. I had beard oil. I had some sort of lotion. I had a little comb. I had all this shit. It was terrible. It was absolutely horrible, and it never stopped itching. And I would it was awful. Miss Abby hated it and hated me like the whole time that I had it, which isn't ideal. Never again. Like, no, I don't know how people have beards. Maybe I just have like itchy pubic hairish beard or something. I don't know. Maybe other people's beards are softer or something. I'm not sure. I can tell you I've never touched anyone else's beard ever, and I do not have any plans on doing such. But what I do know is that mine is awful, and I hated it, and I'm never doing it again. And while the name SinBin.vegas is hilarious, and it was funny that I was standing in front of the White House with that beard, I will say that was funny. And then we drove, there was a great moment where Jesse Granger and I were on the birds, and we wanted to take a picture of the White House. And he said, "Why don't we do a drive-by?" And there was a dude with like a massive gun that I thought was going to kill us because we had said drive-by right in front of the White House, and I had the horrible terrorist beard. So that was bad. There are some pictures out there somewhere. I had the mustache after I cut it off for a second. Never again. It gets to like 5 or 6 days, and if you go back, you've probably seen it. It gets to like 5 or 6 days, and then it's got to go. Yeah, I have a hard time sleeping. It's not good. Yeah. Why do we care about Gallant to the Rangers? Because Gallant is a good dude. Gallant did a lot of good things here, and I really like it. It's not racist. My beard was awful. I don't know why that's racist. I hated my beard. It was terrible. And Bin Laden had a beard. Whatever. Yeah. This one I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sure, to be completely honest. Oh, don't get me started on this bullshit again. The timeout would not have mattered. Now you got me fired up. God damn it. They could have called the timeout. They didn't give up a goal for 2 minutes right after the first goal. I do not understand. Thank you. No, we are not growing the beard, no matter what. Not even if there's a fire. I will never have the beard again. And it's also not this. Stop with this. I had the beard the first year, and they didn't win. So that gave me immunity from the bullshit jinx people for the rest of my life. What else do you want? Fuck. This Periscope and all Periscopes are brought to you by Conler & Associates CPAs. Conler pays good money to hear me talk about my beard. I don't know why, but they do. Because they do that, please patronize them by going to conlercpa.com and having them do your taxes for you. They are fantastic at doing your taxes. They're better than me. They're probably better than you. No, I'm not having any sort of facial hair. I don't understand why people have facial hair if it feels like mine. I don't know if everyone's feels like mine, but mine sucks. It's terrible. I hated it. Okay, I did when I was shaving do the mustache for a second, and it was ridiculous. Maybe if you tweet me at it, I'll send it out. Maybe. I'll think about it. I don't really want it in the media thing. You know how you go to the Twitter? Fuck you, Twitter, by the way. I applied for the check mark like 6 days ago or something, like a while ago. Where is my check mark? I feel like I should get a check mark. I want a check mark. My mustache was like more of like a Mario, like Super Mario mustache. It was like overly bushy and gross. All right. Yes. I need the damn check mark. Yes. Give me the check mark. No. If someone can get Twitter to say that I get a check mark if I get the beard, I'll grow it for a month and a half. It'll suck, but it's worth the check mark for the rest of my life. That's it. Thanks to Condler CPAs for sponsoring this. Thanks to the Golden Knights for beating the shit out of a team that's better than them. I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of talking about how the Golden Knights are better than Montreal. It's going to be fun, I think. It's going to be, I don't even think this is going to be nerve-wracking. Was anyone nervous today? Like the whole Colorado series, you're always like, oh God, I don't know what's going to happen. We're down 2-0. Oh fuck, this is going to be horrible. Season's going to end. What are we going to do? Where are we going to fire everybody? And all that, all that good stuff. And I don't know what that comment was. I'm trying to put this back up. I don't know. That's it. All right. See you later. Good night. Good night, everyone. Golden Knights win game 1. They're going to win the next 3. This fucking shit's over. Don't listen to the Canadians. This shit's over. Golden Knights are going to the cup.